The Shaman King anime adaptation has finally been released, and like any adaptation, changes have to be made. Due to the faster pace of it, a lot has and will continue to be changed, so in this series I'll try to go over every change I find. Obviously I'll make some mistakes though, so just keep that in mind. I'm just one guy, and this is very tedious, so I might miss something. And so the first change is pretty major. The anime starts with the birth of Hao, which wasn't shown until chapters 142 and 143 of the manga. It also removes a lot of dialogue to keep things pretty vague. So while it is the same scene, a lot is removed, which I'll imagine they'll correct later when it's shown properly. In the anime, Manta doesn't mention him being late for his favorite show. In the anime, we see Amidamoru right after Manta leaves the cemetery. He doesn't appear till a bit later in the manga. He also notices his gravestone, which wasn't in the manga either. In the manga, we see Yo sleeping in class. Manta's classmates also hint at Ryu in this scene. The anime skips right to Manta following Yo. At the river, Yo questions Manta about Amidamoru. He never mentions him there in the manga. The anime shows Yo travel to the museum to meet Mosuke before it happened in the manga. In the manga, he went there with Manta in order to help Amidamoru in chapter 2. In the anime, he went there alone to help Mosuke. Ryu's cigarette is missing in the anime. The fight with Yu remains entirely unchanged. Right after the fight with Ryu, the anime adds a scene where Yo mentions the Shaman King, which wasn't brought up till a bit later in the manga. Anime almost entirely skips chapter 3 through 5. We only see the last panel of chapter 5 animated, which is the introduction of Ren, which happens under different context in the anime. So that's all the changes made in episode 1. Now we're on to 2, which is a lot more faithful to the manga. The first change is that Yo and Manta are walking down the street when they encounter Ren, instead of in a restaurant. Pretty much all of Manta's fight commentary is removed in the adaptation, so I won't be including specific examples. In the anime, we immediately see where Ren stabbed Yo. It was a cliffhanger in the manga. Yo's flashback is shown before he goes to the hospital, unlike the manga. The location, date, and Yo's age in the flashback aren't shown in the anime. In the anime, Yo's grandfather doesn't explain what Shikigami are used for, or what kind of shamans exist. Yo also doesn't explain why he doesn't want to be a shaman. Yome's speech to Yo has lots of dialogue removed, the biggest of which being the part about the city. Now we're on to episode 3, which does change quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this one a bit differently. This episode only has 2 major changes. The rest are very small, but there's a lot of them. So I'm going to be talking about the major changes now, and then I'm just going to do like a lightning round, listing off all the small changes I found. The first major change is that a scene from chapter 164 is shown in the anime, right when Yo meets Anna again for the first time. The second major change is that the scene at the restaurant is completely removed, meaning Tao Jun has had her proper introduction cut, and we missed a scene with Ryu and Ren. Okay, so now's the lightning round. So, first is a lot of Manta's dialogue when he meets Anna is removed. Yo also complains slightly less about Anna in the anime. Manta's theorizing about previous Shaman Kings is removed in the anime. Amidamoru's reaction to the Shaman fight is cut. Yo's line about wanting to be strong enough for Amidamoru is cut. A bit of Pyron's movie is cut. Some exposition about Pyron was cut. Some dialogue from Anna is cut. Anna never mentions Yo's integration time. Most fight time commentary is cut. June bragging about beating Yo is cut. Anna's exposition about Dao Shi is cut. Mana's inner monologue is removed. Manta hitting Ryu is a bit changed in the anime. The manga had Ryu walk away and then be hit. The anime has Manta hit him before being punched again. Manta is noticeably less hurt in the anime. The anime adds a scene where Yo is kicked by Pyron again. If the sword to Yo was shortened, Amidamoru explaining his technique was cut. Ren's grandpa didn't talk in Pyron's flashback like he did in the manga. Yo's line about how all shaman can't be bad was cut. Monta's Shaman exposition was cut. June doesn't question Anna being in a taco. Nobody explains how a power works in the anime. A lot of dialogue between Pyron and Shaman was changed, and they talk at different points than they did in the manga. So that's it for part 1 of this new series I'm trying to do. I'll be doing these whenever I feel like there's enough content for one, so probably like 3 weeks apart, right? If you enjoyed, you can probably stick around for the next one. And if I missed anything, please do tell me. Thanks for sitting through this. I'm not used to reading off of scripts, if you can't tell.